Sit back, relax a little bit. Let me tell you a story. See if yours is anything like mine. Remember when I was a kid? So much better when I popped the lid. Feel the rabble, open it up.
Exactly, listen to Sean. Right, and Cash Out's the easy way to get money transferred when y'all with friends. So, hop into that and then we'll get back to it.
He said, baby, jump in the back, boy. Tailgate crazy.
Oh man, tailgate freaking crazy. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Fantasy Reports presented by the Shady Sports Network. I'm your bus driver, Cedric. Ready for week 2? Last week, we broke down some breakout performances, the lineup advice, and early movers. So tonight, I'm diving into how those panned out, most of those picks. I'll hit on all the must-know updates, injuries, trades that we've had so far already. Week 2, right? Rookie movers heading into the weekend, right? So welcome back, guys, to another exciting episode of Fantasy Reports. NFL Week 2 preview, fantasy preview. I'm your bus driver, Cedric Green. As I said, you know how I do when I get it started. Go ahead and start it off with that Shady Sports promo. Guys, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Head over to the YouTube page. Subscribe to Shady Sports Network. If you're an X, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Keep rocking with us. So let's get this promo in. And then when we come back, we'll go ahead and get into that recap and just get the week going, guys. Tuesday night, Fantasy Reports. Let's get it.
Good luck, everyone here. Oh my Lord, who is this? Joe Burrow! Joe Burrow! AFC North smoked it right here, baby. Fanatics, authenticated Joe Burrow on the speed, incredible hit, going to Alpha Wolf. Congratulations, Alpha.
Yes, we back. So we bringing out the Breaks GPT. We bringing out the Shady Sports promo. We bringing out all the football gear because football is here, right? So what's up, guys? Last week was wild. Literally started off wild, right? Ruptured calf muscle, a spit in the face, just bodily fluids flying everywhere. What's going on? I don't know. But last week, I did highlight some players that I talked about some players, not necessarily even my boom or my bust, just players I kind of talked about to look at, right? To see what they were doing. There's been a lot of talk about them on the offseason. So we're like, oh, shoot, these players made some movements. They're on a new team, right? They got a new quarterback, right? They got a new squad. Or maybe they lost some players due to trade. So we're just looking at these guys and even some players that were new, right? So we're just looking into it, seeing how they performed coming out of the weekend, right? So to touch on that, looking back a little bit from last week in our flashback recap from last week. Let's start. Yeah, so last week we talked about wide receivers Calvin Ridley and DK Metcalf and whether they were gonna move back into top 10 status or move into top 10 status or whatever it may be, depending on their situation. And then just to start, DK Metcalf, he had a solid floor, but like he didn't really ascend into elite territory, right? His stat line was steady, but not really anything spectacular or just anything to be like, oh wow, that's what I wanted, right? Even though Aaron Rodgers had 4 touchdowns, right? So you think he had, 2 of them, right? At least one of them, right? He had 4 of 7 targets for 83 yards. in the Steelers' Week 1 win. He did lead the team in pass catching, but that performance translated to around 12.3 fantasy points. It was a solid, safe floor, but not the boom that most fantasy managers might have hoped for. That's okay. I mean, it's solid. It's something, right? Good wide receiver 2. I hope you didn't have him DK as your wide receiver 1. That's your fault if you did, right? But anyway, same thing. Looking over Calvin Ridley. I mean, I told you, he was gonna get the Pat Surtain treatment. No catches against Pat Surtain. He underwhelmed. He dropped some passes. His matchup and targets just didn't yield the fantasy fireworks we hoped for, right? He only had 8 targets, and he only caught 4 of them for 27 yards. And he topped the team in targets and receptions. That output was modest with no fantasy juice. None. You ain't want nothing to do with it, right? Like, I don't even see him as one of those guys that you're like, oh, well, maybe he'll bounce back. Maybe this week he'll come back, right? Like, I don't know, man. Who do the Titans playing this week? The Rams. We saw what just happened, what the Rams just did to the Texans. I don't know if Calvin Ridley's going to have an easier time, my dudes. So, Calvin really underwhelmed. Moving on. We talked a bit about Brock Purdy, man. I don't know why there's so much talk about Brock Purdy always, right? You hear Brock Purdy this, Brock Purdy that. He's supposed to be it, right? Mr. Irrelevant to Mr. Everything. He underwhelmed. Delivered a mixed bag by going 26 for 35 for 277 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He has 17 rushing yards, but a week 1 total of 16.8 PPR points. Steady, but not spectacular. And now there's the injury concern, clouding week 2. So now he had, now he's worried about, I think it is an ankle issue. So, I don't know if he'll necessarily be going up from there in week 2. Jackson Dart, we thought he'd get some plays. He didn't even take the field. But we know the pressure's building. We know. We hear it. We see it. Russell Wilson underwhelmed. Only had 168 yards, 0 touchdowns. Right? So, we're eventually going to see Jackson Dart out there. The calls are growing louder. I'm just saying he's a stash candidate in deeper fantasy leagues, in your dynasty leagues. Keep him, grab him. He's going to get in there sooner than later. And tell him the bus driver told you that. Right? The bus driver told you that. So, what up, PDF Sports Network? Come join me sometime. Talk some fantasy football. Yeah. So, moving on. So as the week goes on, I'll try to really, the show is just kind of try to keep you guys, like I say, to remind you to update your rosters, check your injuries, check your waiver wires, right? So we'll look and see what's going on around the league, try to get some injury updates out there. I'll talk about my fantasy teams, and just some updates that we see, some scoring updates, some ranking updates, whatever needs be to help you get the leg up on your fantasy team. So, drop your team in the chat. If you got start-sit questions, drop those in the chat. You just want to say what's up, drop that in the chat. I'm here to just chat, kick it. So come kick it, hang out on the bus, on the bandwagon with me, and then as I cruise around, right? So we just rolling around, just cruising. You know what I'm saying? So come hang out. And then Sunday mornings, I'll have that last minute. So Sunday morning, 7 a.m. Denver time on Shady Sports Network, I'll have those last minute injury updates and just be talking and start set questions, going through and looking at the matches again. So a couple updates quickly, You got Brock Purdy. Like I said, he has that shoulder and toe injury for Sunday. It's kind of iffy. If he's out, maybe Mac Jones will step in. I don't know if you'd be looking to use him, but there's that. George Kittle hurt his hamstring. Probably out for multiple weeks at least. Juwan Jennings, he left with an MRI. It's clean, so he'll probably be back sooner than later. Doesn't look like it's too bad, but he does have that shoulder issue. Drake London, Brock Bowers, Evan Ingram, Xavier Worthy. All these guys are banged up. You keep an eye on them. Like I said, I'll update you Sunday morning and tell you on the last minute updates. We'll talk some start set questions. So just come hit me up. Come hang out on the bandwagon. Chill with me as I cruise around, drive you around, and tell you about those updates. And just remind you to update your rosters, right? George Kittle had a hamstring injury. Suffered a hamstring injury in week 1 against the Seahawks. He still had 4 catches, but only 25 yards and a touchdown, though. So he had a touchdown. He has been placed on IR from what I'm seeing, mandating a minimum absence of 4 games. So he possibly return as early as week 6, October 12th, against the Buccaneers. His backups, Jake Tongs, had 3 catches, 15 yards, and a TD. And Luke Farrell, they'll both split the duties. You got Braden Willis, practice squad potential elevation. So I'd probably look to the waiver wire. You got options like Juwan Johnson, Harold Fannin, good pickup, right? Probably wouldn't look towards those 49ers backups to replace George Kittle. And then, if you got CMC, he's probably going to see an uptick. Ricky Pearsall owners are probably like, yes, let's go. Right? So if you got Ricky Pearsall, now is the time, because we're seeing that tight end George Kittle is on IR, meaning he'll miss at least 4 games per Adam Schefter, reporting that earlier today, actually. And then, like I said, with Juwan Jennings, he avoided significant time. Right. So, if you have these guys, George Kittle, if you had him, I'm sorry, but you should probably be looking for a replacement. It sucks, too, because he was on track, right? He came out hot. So, like I said, Harold Fannin is a good pickup. You might want to check him out and see what he has going on over there. Brock Purdy, toe and shoulder injury, is questionable for week 2 against the Saints due to a toe injury and a non-thrown shoulder issue sustained in week 1. He completed a 4-yard touchdown pass to Jake Tongs, who led a game-winning drive despite the injuries. If Purdy can't play, Mac Jones will start, potentially lowering the fantasy ceiling for 49ers pass catchers. Monitor Purdy's practice reports this week. Fantasy managers should consider streaming other quarterback options if he is ruled out. George Kittle already out. You don't have Juwan Jennings. With Brock Purdy, if he is ruled out, you might want to look at a different direction. I mean, if you're starting Brock Purdy, you're probably right. You're probably not doing too much anyway. So just keep rolling. Keep rolling. Again, Juwan Jennings, he left week 1 with a shoulder injury, but his MRI was clean. He's expected to be limited in practice with a chance to play in week 2. He had 2 catches for 16 yards on 5 targets before leaving. With Kittle out and Purdy questionable, Jennings could see an increased target alongside Pearsall and McCaffrey if he's active, but his ceiling is lower with Mac Jones as the quarterback. He's a wide receiver 3 and maybe a flex. So maybe not on your radar, depending on what league you're coming from. Xavier Worthy left the game, dislocated shoulder. He dislocated shoulder against the Chargers and is undergoing tests to assess labrum damage. Probably out for about 2 to 6 weeks with the brace, or missing the entire season. If he has to get surgery, DeAndre Hopkins and McCole Hardman Hollywood Brown is going to see more targets over there. But neither fully replaced Worthy's deep threat role. So, let's see something really quick. And we all saw the Chiefs pretty much look dead in the water. Speaking of DeAndre, DeAndre Hopkins had an amazing catch. I don't know if he saw that touchdown. I don't know why teams did get rid of him in the first place. But it was definitely a nice one that he had. So speaking, oh wait, here we go. Let me do it. Trying to check. Okay. There we go. All right. So we'll probably see more Juju. Sorry. Hollywood Brown, see an uptick. He had 16 targets. So I don't know if you can see much of an uptick from that, but we will. Juju had 5. We'll probably see an uptick from that for sure. And then you had Tyquan Thornton probably come out and see his projection go up. I mean, you're just gonna see a whole lot more of Hollywood Brown, a whole lot more of Travis Kelce. He only had 4 targets, so you'll probably see that number doubled at least, right? I don't think Pat Mahomes is going to be their leading rusher continuously going forward, especially as they play the Eagles. Like, I don't think, because Jalen Carter's not going to be suspended. They counted the first game as a suspension. They said, he's been out enough, so they counted that as a suspension. So I don't think he's going to be out when they play. I don't see Patty running that much. But yeah, back to that. Brock Bowers, knee injury. He left week 1 with a knee injury. Told reporters he's fine. Considered day-to-day. Probably still going to see him against the Chargers. If he does miss time, their other first-round tight end, Michael Mayer, becomes a deep league waiver target, right? Maybe you could pick him up. I don't know if you still want to go after him, only because they have such little depth over there in Raiders land. I mean, as far as pass catchers, right? They have Jacoby Myers, right? He still wants to be traded. He did pretty decent last week. Deontay Thornton, a rookie. He only had 4 receptions. We'll probably see. Maybe he'll get some more, right? Trey Tucker. He did really good. And then Jack Beck, he had 1 reception. So yeah, Trey Tucker, he had 2 or 3 for 54 yards and a touchdown. He came out to 13 points in PPR, so I thought that's why. He did, as far as PPR points, he did pretty good. But yeah, I mean, Brock Bowers questionable. I think we probably will see a bit of Michael Mayer, kind of the same role we see from Brock Bowers. So look out for that. Keep an eye on that, right? Keep an eye on that. See where it goes. Drake London suffered a shoulder sprain. Still managed to get 8 catches, 55 yards on 15 targets. Come on, targets, man. He's day-to-day, may play in week 2. We'll see what happens. I don't know if you want to look towards Darnell Mooney. I mean, usually I feel like you could look towards like their receivers. I don't know about necessarily Kyle Pitts if you want to try to, cuff him and throw him in a flex spot. If you're not using him, probably best, he had a pretty decent outing week 1, 7 catches, 59 yards, but I don't know. I need like 2 or 3 more good weeks from Kyle Pitts, I feel like, before I look at him and see what he does. What do you guys feel? What do you think about Kyle Pitts? What are you feeling about Kyle Pitts? Do you think he was a solid start? I don't even think he came in on the top 10 list of tight ends. So I don't know. He probably will this week, but I don't know. But either way, Puka Nacua knocked out of the game, came back. He had blood in his eye or something, right? I don't know. He was evaluated for concussion in week 1, but returned to no further issues. I think he might even scored a touchdown. I think he scored a tutty. I think he did score a tutty when he came back. Gotta label my pictures better, man, so I can see him. But yeah, Puka Nacua's checked for a concussion, came back, still did the darn thing. So I thought that was pretty cool. Must not have loaded that graphic. Anyway. All right. So yeah, Will Shipley suffered a rib injury as well. So we saw some movement from the Eagles. I was wondering, like, what the heck? Yeah, so suffered a rib injury. Had 3 carries, 26 yards, and 5 snaps. It's unconfirmed whether it's a fracture versus a bone bruise. But, I mean, he didn't really have much fantasy relevance. They did trade for Tank Bigsby, though, in lieu of that. So, that was some pretty wild movement here and over the past few hours that happened. The Eagles acquired Bigsby from the Jaguars for 2026 5th and 6th. You know, they still have AJ Dillon, but Bigsby will be another backup alongside him and contribute on special teams. So I don't know if we'll see any value from him, but as we saw with the Jaguars, you know, he could come in and handle a decent workload. So either him or Dillon. So it was interesting to see that move. But, you know, champions make champion moves, even when it seems like they may not need to. So, I don't know. You may probably pick him up, but I'd say, yeah, if you got Barkley, you can pick him up for sure, right? Have him as a cuff. And then we saw, I don't know why this guy makes headlines. It's a rookie, right? Keep doing it. But he finally is expected to practice tomorrow. He signed his contract, Quinshon Judkins. So he could make a potential debut against the Ravens. So that should be fun to see, right? Come make your debut and go, you know, head to head with Derrick Henry, see who comes out on top. But yeah, that's kind of those injuries we're watching throughout the week. And like I said, Sunday I'll be updating you. So yeah, you'll want to look at guys maybe like Dylan Sampson, Brenton Strange, Juwan Johnson, Michael Mayer, you know, in deeper leagues. Maybe Judkins is kind of a stash, right? But we'll look and check in on these other guys, especially like Purdy, Bowers, Drake London. We'll check them and see where they're going on Sunday, if there's any updates going into the game. But, you know, you probably want to look at maybe some replacements. All right. Let's keep it moving. You know what? Let me take a break really quick. Step away, hit you with the Shady Sports promo. You know how it does. Over here driving this bus around. So I'll hit you with that Shady Sports promo, my dudes. My guys and gals. Hey, you're rocking with the bus driver. I'm your bus driver, Cedric Green. Over here in the bus stop, it's Fantasy Reports. You see the gear, man. Shout out to Brandon Blanks, Matt DePalma over at Brandon Blanks for the amazing gear. Lighting isn't always the best, but when it comes in, you see how fresh it is, man. We got the Shady Sports Network gear. I got the Fantasy Reports gear, the hats, the shirts, the bandanas, the koozies. What you need, we got it. We can get it. We'll have some catchphrase shirts too, right? Where there's sports, there'll be the bandwagon, right? Where there's winners, the bandwagon will be there. So we'll get some catchphrases on some shirts. Anyway, right now we're talking fantasy sports though. So send me your teams. Let me see your teams. Even if you don't have a start sit question, let me see what you're rocking with on your team, right? Let me see who you're rolling out this weekend. Who was your bust from last weekend? Who was you like, man, I shouldn't have did that. You know, Evan Ingram kind of let me down. So I love to hear who you guys' letdowns were from week 1. As we just made it through the first full week of the NFL over here on Fantasy Reports. We love that, right? Because that means it's time to go, man. Right, so let's get it popping. Wake up, guys. Get it popping. When we come back, we'll be going into, you know, some waiver wire ads, some rankings, some scores, and just talking fantasy football. So you're rocking. I'm the bus driver. You're rocking Fantasy Reports on Shady Sports Network. Keep hanging with me. Keep riding on this bus. Strap in. It's going to be a fun ride. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Shady Sports Network on YouTube. Shady Sports Network, Shady Sports Network, Shady Sports Network. This is Fantasy Reports, and it's the NFL Week 2 preview. I'm the bus driver. I'll be right back, guys.
My name is Anton Popov, and this is my 6th year of college football. Training during the hottest times of the day is a recipe for muscle cramps, which is why electrolytes are so important. Hydration is crucial for my performance. Dragon Salt eliminates muscle cramps and boosts your overall energy level. Whether it's a weight room or field session, I fuel up with Dragon Salt beforehand. It's been a game changer for me, and it'll be a game changer for you.
Oh, Dragon Salt, check it out. DRGN Salt. But yeah, no, Shady Sports Network, man. Follow us on all the streaming platforms. We're on Instagram. We're on X. We're on LinkedIn. Right? We're on YouTube. Head over to our YouTube and subscribe. I think we just crossed over 2,800 subscribers. 2,800. And we're trying. I want us to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the NFL season. I already put it out there to the network. Bold. But that's my goal. So please, if you haven't subscribed, head over to our YouTube channel, Shady Sports Network. Subscribe to the channel. We got so much amazing content on there. Head over to our website. There's so much amazing content on there. So many things to read, articles, rankings, drafts, live content on both platforms. So head over to the YouTube, subscribe to Shady Sports Network if you haven't already. And help us grow, because I do want to hit that goal of 10,000. So tell me what I got to do. Tell me what you like about the show. Tell me what I need to add to the show, right? Trying to get the show pumped up for you guys. So tell me what you see, what you like, and we'll get it in there, right? So yeah, we'll keep it moving. Some waiver wire ads. Let's look at the live market, hit the streets, look at the streets are adding and dropping right now. And then we got sleepers, most added players from week 1, right? So those most added players from week 1, I think I got a graphic up here too that we can throw in. There we go. So you see it, the most added players from week 1, Quentin Johnson was number 1. 2.1 million people added him. Man, this is wild. That's wild. Calvin Austin. And I mean, he caught the 2 touchdowns. You saw they were trying to feed him last year too with Quentin Johnson. So Calvin Austin, 1.1 million. Harold Fannin, like I said, man, potential tight end pickup. Right? Johnson Austin does a splash play upside guys. Fannin, Tongs. Tongs, you know, he's in because of the injury. So tight end streamers, he got that momentum, right? We see Justin Fields on that list, Keon Coleman, Dylan Sampson. These guys, you know, are guys you want to pick up. Sampson, a running back with pass game. They're gonna involve him in the passing game. So you want to get them on your radar if you can. You know, and these other guys as well. These are who you guys are picking up already. These are who other guys are picking up already. So if you haven't, you know, maybe just look into it. Right? Maybe like, oh, maybe pick this guy up, get this guy on my squad. Quinn Johnson. I mean, it could be potential, man. Especially, you know, you got Herbert saying he's looking for him. He's looking for him, man, and he's just gonna get the targets. He's gonna keep going to him. So, yeah, that's one of your options to add for sure. All right. Now let's look at this. These guys are, I guess, who the streets aren't feeling, and I don't know. The first one, I'm like, maybe not. But anyway, most drop players. Right. All right. We got our most drop players. Tank Bigsby. Over 496,000 people dropped him. But he just got traded, so maybe you want to pick him up. He's out there. I'd probably go pick up Tank Bigsby, honestly. Chris Rodriguez, Ollie Gordon, Marvin Mims, Luther Burden. And I got Ollie Gordon. I just got into a big argument with this guy over on my dynasty. He wants Ollie Gordon. Maybe I should trade him. I just don't want the guy who wants to trade him for. And I doubt I could trade him now after I made a fool of myself. So it is what it was. I'll just keep it as it be. Anyway. Damian Pierce, Jadon Blue. Just guys you didn't really see a whole lot from. I don't know about Marvin Mims. And, you know, it's funny because I just don't know when to fall back on Broncos players. So I'm like, maybe I go pick him up as well too. But definitely Tank Bigsby. If you see him out there, I'd probably go. If you have the room, probably just snatch him up, hang him on there, because you know, if Saquon goes down, he's probably going to be the starter. And AJ Dillon will still be the backup, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. That's, well, like, your opinion, dude, right? So, I don't know. You probably turn and burn these guys in deeper formats, see if you can maybe get some value out of them. But, yeah, they're probably not doing a whole lot, right? All right, then we looked and we had some rookie standouts. What? Guys making big names for themselves. What's going on, man? Rookies come out just doing the thing like it should be done. A couple top rookies from week 1. Emeka Egbuka. Jacoby Krosky-Merritt. Just want to call him Bill all the time. Tyler Warren. Harold Fannin Jr. And Dylan Sampson. Right? Couple priorities, Fan and Sampson. You want to add these guys if you can. You just want to add these guys. Prag Buka, too. It looks like he's going to have an expanded role as Cade Otton didn't really do a whole lot last week. I think Cade Otton only had like 3 targets. So it looks like Baker's probably looking more towards his receivers a bit more. Tyler Warren up and coming, man. I get him. And Bill Krosky, I think they want him to be that guy, right? That's why I didn't do the trade. The guy was trying to trade me Austin Eckler, and I was like, well, trade me Bill Krosky. I'll be down for that, right? I don't know. I think that'd be much better, right? Dang, how you feel about the Dolphins? They're saying the Dolphins are not competitive. Over the next 6 to 7 games, owner Stephen Ross is expected to pull the trigger and fire both head coach Mike McDaniel and GM Chris Greer, per at Tony Pauline. Dang, what do you think? Coach McDaniel's out or what? He's swagging on everybody 2 seasons ago, remember? Then they just put up 70 on the Broncos. Yo, who you think? These stats were, man, 14 to 23, 113 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, 3 rushing touchdowns. Joe Burrow. Now, who are these? 13 to 20, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 25 rushing yards for 1 touchdown. J.J. McCarthy. What in the world? I mean, I probably would put him in that rookie category, right? It's technically his rookie season. It's his first game. He didn't play any games. I don't know. I'd put him in that rookie category. All right, just a couple other positions, just some snapshots from across the league. ESPN, I think. Top 10 quarterbacks. So, yeah, we got a top 10 quarterbacks. Josh Allen, man, freaking pulled a rabbit out the hat. What in the what? I say what in the what? That was phenomenal. Yeah, man, he came through like 38 to 41 points. He had a really great day. Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels. Jalen Hurts was Superman, right? He had put his cape on for some reason. They couldn't just help him out. Joe Burrow, he was decent. Pat Mahomes. Baker Mayfield. Kyler Murray. Bo Nix. And Justin Fields. What? Wait, what? Kyler Murray. Justin Fields. What? What year is this? Jaden Daniels still holding strong across the top. I thought I would see Caleb Williams up there. I guess not, man. You see Bo Nix. You see Jaden Daniels. Yes, sir. The top 10 quarterbacks. Going into week 2, how you feeling about that? You got these guys. If you don't, you better get them. Try to get them right. Kyler Murray always finds his way in there. Guy has legs. He can move. Doesn't matter how many video games he plays. He just gets it going. Right? Of course, you see the regulars up there. Lamar, Josh Allen, Hurts, Burrow. Even Patty Mahomes had a decent outing, right? It was surprising to see Bo Nix up there. I felt like his day wasn't. Yeah, right? What do you guys think? How you feeling? Yeah, so that's the top 10 list. It wasn't the best. All right. Now I got a running back. Top 10 list. Kind of the same thing. Kind of looking the same, right? For the most part. See a couple of new faces up there. Ashton Genty, right? A couple new stays we knew would still be up there. Bucky Irvin. But Christian McCaffrey making his way back up there. Topping it out, Bijan, Derrick Henry, Jahmyr Gibbs, right? Saquon a little lower, but he had a decent day. Derrick Henry had a beast of the day. I feel like if not for that fumble, man, his points would have been through the roof, right? He was already there almost at 40 points too. So that fumble just kind of knocked it down a bit. It happens. It is what it is. It is what it was. But yeah, you see guys, Jahmyr Gibbs still near the top, Jonathan Taylor hanging on, Josh Jacobs hanging on, Kyron Williams, squeezing in there. These are all guys we thought were going to be, top 10 at the running back position. And then much change, I think just a couple of the numbers for most of them, right? So far, just week 1. Just week 1. Nothing too crazy. Look at these wide receivers, though. I don't know if Jamar Chase. These are the rankings, guys, just to let you know. These are the rankings going into week 2. And I don't know if, most of these guys kind of had down weeks, right? Jamar Chase had down week, right? I'll look up and see what Nico Collins had. AJ Brown, down week. Brian Thomas Jr., all right week, not anything to scream about. Right? Amon-Ra, down week. CeeDee Lamb had a decent week until he started dropping balls. Justin Jefferson had an average week. Most of it came in the 4th, right? So, not really a whole lot from the receivers. Not really a whole lot of movement and change needed. You know these guys are going to have bounce back weeks for sure. Though I wouldn't even, right? I don't know. I wouldn't even make any movement. Just hold on to it. Ride it out. All right, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm going to step away. Get some water really quick. So I'll be right back. I'm going to throw up a Shady Sports promo, right? Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. You're rocking with the bus driver. This is Fantasy Reports over on Shady Sports Network. Every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. And now Sunday mornings at 6 p.m. You can also catch me on the bus stop at 6. Or shoot. Oof. Almost did it to myself. No. At 9:30 a.m. Saturday mornings over here on the bus stop with Static. Catch Around the Indoor Football World Saturday mornings at 6:30 a.m. So we up early. We still here. They up early. So if I ain't up early, my friends up early, right? I got friends up early and their friends up early. So come listen to us. Come rock with us. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button if you haven't already. So I'm going to step away. Grab some water really quick. I'll be right back, guys. Oh yeah, I realized I just been talking this whole time and had it on mute. So welcome back. Probably should have had this pulled down, I guess. I was just sitting there just saying stuff and didn't realize I wasn't saying anything. So hey, we'll go back through. And I was just doing the updates. So that's why I put the quarterback list back up there. And I was going through their points. So we had Josh Allen, obviously the number one scoring quarterback from the weekend. But then we had Justin Fields and Danny Jones coming in at 2 or 3 for the scores. They're not, I think Danny Jones isn't even on this list. Then Lamar Jackson fills in at 4, Justin Herbert 5, Pat Mahomes at 6, had 26 fantasy points. Aaron Rodgers came in at 7. He had those 4 touchdowns and a -1 rushing yard, right? All right, then Jalen Hurts was number 8 with 24.3 fantasy points. He had 152 passing yards, 62 rushing yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns, no passing touchdowns. Caleb Williams was number 9, 24.2 points. Had 210 passing yards, had 58 rushing yards, 1 passing touchdown with a rushing touchdown as well. No interceptions. And then Michael Penix was at number 10 scoring quarterback, 298 yards, 21 rushing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown. So that's how the weekend panned out. The top 10 list a little bit off from the top 10 scorers, right? You got Pat Mahomes number 6 on both those lists, but you got those add-ins, Justin Fields, Danny Dimes coming in at 2 and 3. You got, Michael Penix in at 10, Caleb Williams coming in at 9. So a little bit different from the rankings. I think the rankings are more so what you still want to go off of, right? It was week 1, so I think it's going to look a bit different. Week 2 is going to tell us a little bit more, right? There's some actual film tape. They were actually doing their game plan and trying to get things off so you get a chance to watch and see what the tendencies actually are. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. As far as the running backs, I don't think the running backs are too much different from the top 10 list. Kind of. You did have Derrick Henry leading all running backs in scores with 29.2 points, with 169 rushing yards, 2 rushing TDs, and 13 receptions, right? Or 13 receiving yards on 1 reception, sorry. And then Bijan came in number 2 with 24.4. So kind of switched up the top 2. He had 100 receiving yards. He had 24 rushing yards, but he did have that nice bubble screen or a nice screen or whatever you want to call it that he took out for I think like 60 yards, something like that. CMC came in at 3 with 24.2. James Cook was number 4. I don't even think he made the top 10 list. But yeah, he was in there number 4, 21.2 points, had 44 rushing yards, 58 receiving yards, 13 receptions. That's amazing. Or 13 rush, sorry. Gosh, I gotta get my numbers right. I need to wipe my glasses off. Javonte Williams led the weekend for the longest until the weekend actually started, right? He ended up at number 5 and scoring with 20.4 points. He had 54 rushing yards crossover, that 50-yard rushing barrier that he couldn't seem to cross over last season. 2 early rushing TDs, I might add, right? Travis Etienne, I told you he was going to eat. He had 143 rushing yards. Just no touchdowns, man. Just no touchdowns. Still, he was in double digits, 18.6 points. Number 7, Devon A-Chain, 55 rushing yards, 20 receptions, 1 receiving touchdown. Saquon Barkley was down on this list. He was number 8. He had 60 rushing yards, 24 receiving yards, but only 1 rushing touchdown. So, I mean, while he was out there, I think he did what he needed. It was, like I said, Jalen Hurts was Superman the whole time. Number 9, Chuba Hubbard, my guy, coming in, 57 rushing yards, 32 receiving yards, 1 receiving touchdown. And then to round out the list, Dylan Sampson, 29 rushing yards, 64 receiving yards. Although that may change, right, with Quinshon supposedly coming back. So we'll see what happens over in the Browns running back room. But I would definitely take a look at him and pick up Dylan Sampson if you have a chance. Maybe hold on to him. Just see what's going on with that. What's up with that? What's up with that? What's up with that? What's up with that? So we're trying to find out, right? What's up with that? So look into it and see. All right. The wide receivers. Wide receiver list was way different from the top 10 list, right? I think our wide receiver scoring list, we did not expect it to be what it was when it was where it was. Zay Flowers led all receivers, Pro Bowler, the first Pro Bowler that the Ravens have had since what, 1931 or something like that? Since forever. Anyway, he had 28.1 points. And then Deebo Samuel was number 2 with 27.6 points, 7 receptions, 77 yards. Oh, might I add, Zay Flowers had 7 receptions for 143 yards. Yeah, he was that dude for sure. Keon Coleman was number 3, 8 receptions, 112 yards for 25.2 fantasy points. Quentin Johnston, 24.9 fantasy points, 5 receptions, 79 yards. Right? I don't think anybody on this list I've mentioned yet. That's the wild thing. Amike Abuka, number 5, 23.6 points. Rookie, 4 receptions, 67 yards, 2 touchdowns. Puka Nacua knocked out for concussion, came back, still had 23.1 points. This guy had 150 receiving yards on 11 targets. Number 7, Garrett Wilson, man. Justin Fields slinging it all over, I guess. 7 receptions, 95 yards, 1 touchdown. Let's get it, right? Number 8, Cortland Sutton, 20.1 points. This guy has 6 receptions with 61 yards and 1 touchdown. Over 10 yards of reception. Let's go. Right? Michael Pittman came in at number 9. Danny Dimes is putting it all over the place. He had 6 receptions for 80 yards and 1 touchdown. And Hollywood Brown closed it out, 10 receptions, 99 yards, no touchdown. But he still had 19.9 points, almost got 20. So I don't think any of these guys I named are on this top 10 list, but they're definitely guys you want to go and check out, right? That's wild. That's wild. So I think this top 10 list, I think you can expect to see a big bounce back from these guys in week 2. A huge bounce back. Huge bounce back from these guys in week 2. All right. So keeping it moving. I think our tight end list was kind of, there's not a whole lot of tight ends, I guess you could say. Right. So there's our top 10 tight end list. Right. Trey McBride, Brock Bowers, George Kittle, Sam Laporta, TJ Hawkinson, Travis Kelce, Tyler Warren, Evan Ingram, Mark Andrews, David Njoku. Right? Different from our scoring list. Brock Bowers led all tight ends. 17.3 points. 5 receptions, 103 yards. That's even going out with the knee injury. Number 2 is Juwan Johnson. Probably a good pickup if he's out there. Right? If you're in need of a tight end, he's available. You might want to go look at Juwan Johnson at 8 receptions for 76 yards over there in New Orleans. Tyler Warren, he is number 6 in this list over here, so he is on the list. Yeah. But, yeah, he came in 7 receptions, 76 yards for 14.9 points. Dalton Kincaid, 14.8 points, had 4 receptions, 48 yards. So that's another one not on this list, but you might want to go check him out. Dalton Kincaid. Sam Laporta, my guy, he has 6 receptions for 79 yards. So they're trying to look at him. He came through with 13.9 points. Jared Goff was trying to get it out there. I don't think Jared Goff had the biggest of days himself. So I think we'll see a bit more from that Lions team as a whole. Number 6, Harold Fannin. This guy's 63 yards on 9 targets over there in Cleveland. So Might want to look at that. You see David Njoku at number 10 on this list. It was Harold Fanning who showed up and showed out, right? That was a pretty good debut, right? I don't know. It says, he was expected to start behind Njoku, but it's like, but he came out ahead of Njoku, so we'll see what happens. I don't know. All right. Moving on. Number 7, Kyle Pitts. Told you he's trying to do something this year. 7 receptions, 59 yards, 12.9 fantasy points. Number 8, Travis Kelce. 12.7 fantasy points. He had 2 receptions, 47 yards, 1 touchdown. So they're going to get him those touchdowns, right? If anybody they're going to get touchdowns too, it's going to be Travis Kelce. So look out for him to get those touchdowns. Right. Number 9, Noah Fant coming out of nowhere over in Cincy, right? 4 receptions, 26 yards, a touchdown. Had 5 targets, 12.6 points. Round out the list, I got going to be out for a while. George Kittle, 4 receptions, 25 yards, 1 touchdown. So maybe we'll see Jonas Smith move up that list as he was tied with him in points. So we'll see how the tight end list pans out next week, right? All right. And then that defense, man. We got a defensive list up here. Texans, Steelers, Broncos, Eagles, Ravens, Packers, Vikings, Patriots, Seahawks, Lions. Who cares? It's a defense. You stream a defense. You pick them up anywhere. Right? So, yeah, guys, how's your team looking? I'd love to see them. Love to hear from you, right? Don't forget to hit that like button, guys. One thing I did want to add in here too is, so I don't know if you guys know, I am a program manager over at Volunteers of America, Colorado. So I run both of our daytime facilities, which I think I love it. It's pretty cool. I get to help out veterans, get to help out the community, but we are in need of donations. So I just want to throw this up here. If you guys see that, any guys, I don't think anybody watches me, but if anybody does come across this, you see it. We always take donations. You can see our address at the top of the flyers. Or you can hit me up directly. I can get you those addresses for the Mission and the Bill Daniels Veteran Service Center over here in Denver, Colorado. And we can just always use things for the community, whether it be hygiene products, whether it be clothing products, undergarments. I know we're going into the winter months, so socks, blankets, shirts, sweaters, things of that nature to keep you warm. Warm weather kits are very helpful, sleeping bags, stuff like that. So whatever it is, whatever it may be, all donations are pretty much welcome. But these are the things we kind of need the most at the bottom there. So but like I said, for the most part, the majority of donations are all acceptable. So check it out, guys. You get a chance. What? Philly Mike, you be coming with some crazy takes, bro. I don't think any one of your takes have got me in the right place, but let me check it out. That's one I can kind of believe, right? Mac Jones, but I don't think so. Let's check it and see, though. I would be interested to see. The Broncos are officially number 1 defense after week 1. I just saw. That'd be crazy though if Brock Purdy's out. It just falls into my conspiracy, man. As soon as a player gets a big a big contract, they're out, right? So I don't know. I don't see nothing about him being out. He is TBD. Yeah. But anyway, thanks for checking in, Philly Mike. Always a pleasure to have you here, my dude. But yeah, guys, that's it about the Volunteers of America. Just a couple of little quick plug. Just want to throw in there. So yeah, Philly Mike, show me your team, man. Who do you got on your team? You always coming with the hottest of the hottest takes. I'd love to see or hear, who you got on your team and talk to you about it. But what else we got going on? Let's see what's going on X. What's trending right now? Man, that McCarthy comeback was something, right? He almost won a game for me. Yeah, I think I lost by 2 points in my dynasty league. I was not expecting that, right? So props to him in that comeback. It felt like he played a little bit looser in the fourth quarter. Obviously, 250 yards in the fourth quarter. No, was that Josh Allen? I don't even know. All these quarterbacks just did some amazing stuff, right? Just felt like Caleb Williams resorted back to Caleb Williams, but you've seen some promising things from the Bears offense over there too. They were moving the ball the majority of the game, so we'll see. People were hating on Caleb Williams for his undershirt, and it's like it is what it is, right? If he's a quarterback, quarterbacks were never like the most in shape players, so it'll be next week's gonna be fun. See what comes out. Dang. People are just hating on McCarthy. Anyway, who was your weekly bust? Who was your standout for the week? Let me know. Who was your sleeper going into next week? Leave it in the chat so I can use it for my team, right? Like I said, I went 2-2. How'd your week go in your leagues? Let me hear what you did. Let me see your squad. I'd love to hear about it, right? That's all this is about. Come chop it up with me. Over here on Fantasy Reports on Shady Sports Network. So, let's see. Yeah, rookie quarterback tracking the top tier is real. Look for the quarterbacks with legs or strong weapons around them, right? You see that these players came out to play, man. Tight end is so volatile. Don't fear streaming, right? Especially, with some of these top tight ends already, leaning onto the hurt side of the ball, right? Same thing with defenses. Go ahead and look to stream. I think you'll be good with that. Some players you could look for, is Johnston, Austin, Fannin, Warren. These are players that might be available in, some of the deeper leagues, Samson, Tongs, Coleman. You can look for those players, man. They're probably going to be available. Justin Fields may or may not be available in the majority of leagues, right? Mayfield or Kyler Murray. One of those two should be available. Unless you're in like a 32-team league, you can get one of those guys. So go out, grab them, pick them up, right? I would definitely look for those guys for sure. Yo, guys, like I said, I'll be back Sunday morning, 7 a.m. Do the final update, do the final injury report, lock in, let you know who to stay away from. Just remind you to set your lineup because sometimes that's it, right? Sometimes we just forget to set our lineup, man. So that's what I'm here for. As the bus driver, I'm here to come through, right? Get your lineup. Right? You wanna get it ready. There is no suspense. So you're ready for it and you're good to go, right? Because that's the only thing that sucks is when you forget to just sit one player leaves you out. So don't forget, check me out Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Check me out Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. Check us out 6:30 Saturday morning for Around the Indoor Football World. Just all morning, Saturday and Sunday. Hit that like button, subscribe, and follow us at 303 Bandwagon at Shady Sports Net. Go ahead and drop your waiver wire moves, your Super Bowl picks. Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? After week 1, who are you saying is going to win the Super Bowl and watch it be the Broncos? You right? I want to hear your injury questions so we can talk about them on Sunday. Right? Week 1 is over, but the season's just heating up. Make sure you're hitting those waiver wires. Make sure you're locking in your studs and make sure you're staying ahead of those trends, guys. Right? And make sure, remember, don't forget, remind yourself, Fantasy Reports goes live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Denver time. Every Sunday at 7 a.m. Denver time. Every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Every Sunday, 7 a.m. on Shady Sports Network. Right? Your championship starts now, guys. So literally, so don't miss my show. Your championship could depend on it. It starts now. So don't miss it. Right? So until then, set those lineups, guys. And let's just go ahead and roll and ride this bandwagon into week 2. Check me out Sunday morning. I'll be back Saturday morning as well, too. I don't want to say it after Sunday, but Saturday, Sunday. Every morning, just come Shady Sports Network. We'll be here. Have a great one, guys.
I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer.